the one and only Hall of Famer, big game James Worthy, the 7-time champion big shot, Robert Horry. It is finally here. Christmas Day is one thing, but this is like 1B for me. Opening night. It's here.
First day of school.
Finally, yes.
First day of school, you got new clothes, you got new school clothes, you got a fresh haircut. You can't wait to see that little girlfriend you hadn't seen all summer long. It's the first day of school, so yeah, it's big time. You're now playing against opponents. The games mean something. None of this playing against each other in practice because that gets old, and it's not the same as playing against, other players that you don't know or other opponents. So this is what we've been waiting for. We had the bubble. We had a year where the Lakers won a championship, and then quick turnaround. Milwaukee wins. Now we got something normal again. Fans back in the arena. It's exciting throughout the United States right now for the NBA. Not as exciting as that home run we just saw with the Dodgers, but almost.
If that didn't get you excited, Robert, I don't know what you need.
Yeah,
You're excited.
Yeah, I am excited.
You're excited.
I'm so excited to see, these guys go out there and fight to win another championship because we don't, but I always talk about how you want to cement your legacy and winning back-to-back championships. And AD, for me, the way he treated his body this summer, that he wants to really cement his legacy and go out to another championship and win another championship. It's a new day. It's a new era. We have a new basketball. Wilson's on the basketball. LeBron James is in New Jersey. Westbrook's on the team. Carmelo's on the team.
He is excited.
DeAndre Jordan's on the team. I'm just excited for this new season because let me say this right now. We might be the oldest team in the NBA, but I guarantee that we probably have more dunks than any team in the NBA because we got some high flyers on our team at their age.
And lots of veteranism.
Good point.
Like it? Here we go. Tonight, it marks the official, put it on a t-shirt, official beginning to a new era in Lakers basketball. 360 AD, LeBron and Russell Westbrook. They got up to speed in the preseason, playing between 3 and 5 of the Lakers' 6 exhibition games. You see the numbers there, 10, 6, and 5 for Russ, about 19, 5, and 4 for LBJ, 15 and 6, just about 1.5 blocks for AD. Guys, you think about it, exactly 5 months ago, the Lakers and Warriors met in the NBA's play-in game. Lakers moved on. Both teams, though, they were out early, if you will. You fast forward to now, lots of changes to the roster, yet they both are considered the Western Conference favorites. With that said, Big Game, what a way to tip off the season with Warriors and Lakers.
Yeah, not too long ago, two guys in the studio was saying Warriors are done. They won't be back in it again. Was that you and Rob Rez, I think? You said they'd never win a championship again. They're right back in the mix.
I said they'd never win a championship.
Right back in the mix.
And they will not.
Contenders. No, we said they'd never be contenders. I think they will be, especially if they get Clay back. But, Steph Curry, it starts with him. He's playing like a third-year player now. He's having fun. He's really excited. He knows they've gone through some changes, and they didn't necessarily have to fall too far down. They last year, having the play-in game, that was tough for both the Lakers but I think they feel like they've been able to hang in there, hang on to the limb while they make these changes, while they get some players back. And so they're right back in the mix. They're a deadly team. And so, yeah, and tough first game regular season against the Lakers. It's going to be tough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got, to me, the deadliest guy in the game is Steph Curry because he got crazy handles. He can shoot it from anywhere on the court, and he moves constantly without the ball. And that's the worst type of guy to have to guard because you think he's over here, next thing you know, he's on the other side of the floor. He's getting like 5, 6, 10 picks from people, and he's always on the go. But it's going to be exciting because, there has always been a little history of Westbrook and Curry to guarding each other. So I'm excited for this matchup. It's a great game to wet your whistle for the season. Two teams, two former champions. 2 former MVP, or 3 MVPs in this game. So it's going to be an exciting game, and we need to get this thing rolling right now. Come on, let's go.
You speak of deadly with Steph Curry. Let's be honest. He single-handedly, no disrespect to his teammates, but a season ago were the reason why they even had a shot at the postseason with his ability to play that way. When it comes to the Lake Show, they've been practicing patience. There's title hopes from the top down, starting with the big 3 big game. Though they are exercising patience, you still would like to see a win tonight in the midst of that.
Yeah, when you consider that, you know, they said that they were getting a lot done in practice, and they really didn't take, you know, the preseason. They took it seriously, but didn't really, I don't think, accomplish everything they wanted to on either end of the court. And we know that it's going to take mostly defense to get the job done. I think once they get in sync defensively, offense will flow. But they still have some things to work on: continuity, consistency, a lot of turnovers. You know, and so yeah, it takes time, and unfortunately, sometimes you do have to spend a few games, you know, in regular season to finish it up. But I think they know what they have to do, and hopefully they're up for the task.
I think when you look at the Lakers team, we know Vogel always talks about defense. And when you have a vet team like this, defense is sort of a thing that can be, you know, put out there, and the guys don't get it and understand it quick. So I'm looking for the defense to understand everything right off the jump, because you got guys like DeAndre Jordan, you got guys like Dwight Howard who can erase a lot of your mistakes on the defensive end. So offense is where I'm really looking at, because you got a guy like Westbrook who's not used to playing with dynamic guys like AD, LeBron, and Carmelo. He's played with one guy only for a long time. You know, he had to share the basketball. Now he has to share the basketball with 3 other guys that are dynamic duos, and so trios. So you have to understand that that's going to be a working process for Westbrook to understand, you know, when to do it and when not to do it.
We're actually going to talk a little bit more even so about that coming up in the show. But for now, we can't say it enough. The NBA is back. Warriors and Lakers tipping off their seasons tonight at Staples Center. And with that, let's check in with Lakers reporter Mike Trudell, who is right there in the thick of it all. Hey, Mike.
Hey guys, regular season is here. I'm certainly ready to roll, as is this building. Going to be rocking in a manner of moments here. And the one thing we've been trying to figure out, Allie, all preseason is just what exactly the Lakers are going to do rotation-wise. That extends to the starting lineup, as we still don't have that information. That'll come out 30 minutes prior to tip. And the whole reason is, okay, well, Golden State plays kind of a unique way. Does Frank Vogel want to think about matching up with Golden State, or is he going to worry more about his own squad? We put that question to him a few moments ago.
Yeah, it's mostly about us. You know, we want to have a lineup that will, be able to play against whoever we're playing. You know, I mean, when you get into playoffs, you know, then you can start tinkering with starting lineups and whatnot. But, you know, hopefully you can find something consistent. Starting one way on opening night doesn't necessarily mean that that's what we're going to settle on for 82. You know, we could shift along the way. But it's really predicated on us more than our opponent.
And would that go the other way, too, with the way that Golden State's played Russ, for example, in the past? And how much of that do you expect to see and have counters for versus it being the first game?
Yeah, I mean, obviously they've seen him a ton. You know, we've seen their system a ton. So there's familiarity there. You just have to execute. It comes down to execution.
Go ahead. Just Avery Bradley. How involved are you with him getting back? And is he going to be able to play? And what does he bring?
Yeah, he's available tonight. He'll be active. His first time being with our team was in our pregame walkthrough that we had. So it's unlikely that I'll throw him in there, but he's available if we need him. He just came from their camp. But there's an integration piece, that I think there's other guys who are going to play above him. And, he's just a guy, obviously, that we respect. Has been part of our program in the last couple of years, 2 years ago, more specifically. And he's someone that when he was waived, we felt like it could help us.
All right, guys, stage set for a battle of contrasting styles here. We'll see how many threes the Warriors shoot, maybe 60. We'll see how often the Lakers can get to the rim against a team that does not really protect it at a high level. So can't wait to check it out here. And by the way, Bazemore, Allie, coming up in a little bit.
Absolutely looking forward to that, Mike. I know that place is going to be rocking. Enjoy that one.
No stopping.
All right, plenty more ahead here on Access. Wayne Ellington returned to the Lakers, but his first action will have to wait. Wayne is out tonight with a hamstring injury, but that doesn't take away any excitement from the night with Malik Monk because he is back.
I'll tell you what, good to see him back. He had a great 3-game run with the team. Then he got injured, but he had some good numbers in that brief time that we saw him. Would have loved to have seen him for all 6 games. We'll take the 3, though. He was hitting threes, almost 50%. You got to love that if you're this kid. Pretty good scoring clip, too, about 13 a game. I think more than any other rotation player, Allie, I should say potential rotation player, he really has to start strong. He's new to the franchise. He showed us some of what he could do last season in Charlotte and then signed a very good contract for the Lakers, only about $1.7 million. That is way below the average NBA salary. There you see it, Microwave Monk. Allie, I know you prefer a different name, the air fryer, because
Nobody
the microwave.
cares what I want. That's
no,
okay.
I care. That's why I'm bringing it up. I want you to trademark it. We already have the microwave, Detroit, back in the 80s, maybe even the 90s a little bit. But look at him. He has some great numbers early. Good to see him back. We'll see how much playing time he gets tonight. Maybe a spot in the starting lineup, but I don't think quite so.
Robert, this one is for you. Avery Bradley, he is back. Between the lines as well as financially. What does this mean for him?
Yeah, by the way, the 6th former Laker to join the team. I mean, it's crazy, right? 40% of the team has been here before. Good familiarity there. To me, this says one thing. The Lakers felt they needed a little bit of perimeter defense. Obviously, no Trevor Ariza till December. Maybe the same for, who are we missing? THT, thank you. THT also out till December. So, I think they're thinking we need to get a guy who can play a little defense. Good news for the Lakers. It's not a guaranteed deal, okay? Both him and Austin Reeves, both on non-guaranteed contracts. So the Lakers do have right now 15 guys on the roster. They could drop down to 14, could drop down to 13. Those 2 guys are not guaranteed till January 10th. So to me, maybe he can just hit some threes as well. Remember one of his last games with the Lakers?
The big one.
Hit 6 against the Clippers, his former team back then.
Good intel. Let's dive into the West standings in regards to how you think it will play out.
Yeah, Vegas, it's funny. Vegas has the Lakers winning the West and the Golden State Warriors finishing 2nd. I'm close to that. I have the Golden State Warriors finishing 3rd. If we take a little look here, we'll start at the bottom. The Clippers, I think they'll still get in there, even without Kawhi Leonard. Trailblazers, I feel like they're 7 every year, Allie, these days. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with that franchise. Denver, no Jamal Murray till next year, maybe January, February. Dallas, possibly a team on the move, on the rise a little bit. Like the Phoenix Suns, they might end up passing Golden State early until Klay comes back maybe in December. The Utah Jazz, everyone's favorite regular season team that just haven't shown us much in the playoffs. And then the Lakers, number 1. Vegas thinks so. I think so. I know you think so. Robin James, I have a feeling they think so as well. Just a little breakdown of my little predictions. Obviously, number 1 versus number 3 right now.
Rob, for some reason, is shaking his head. You can take it up with him after this.
He's always
well
shaking
done,
his head.
as always. Straight ahead on Access. Brody season is upon us, and when we return, we look forward to Russell Westbrook's season. After tonight's opening matchup with the Dubs, the Lakers will play host to the Suns and Grizzlies before hitting the road for back-to-back games against the San Antonio Spurs and OKC Thunder. And as part of the NBA's celebration of its landmark 75th anniversary season, they will be unveiling their top 75 players of all time this week. The first 25 players, guys, were announced this afternoon. We're going to show you the list. I want your thoughts. Big game. You got Cat.
I mean, you really can't argue with this list. I haven't seen it completely, but from looking at it, it's a pretty solid list of older players and some younger players, like you throw Moses Malone in there, people forget about how great he is. Jerry Lucas, Nate Archibald, Tiny Archibald. People forget about how great he was. And of course, the ones that we know, John Stockton and Bill Russell, and of course, big number 99, the Mike and drill, which every kid's done. A basketball drill. So I like the list. Can't say that I have any questions.
You got 3 current players as well on there right now in Giannis, KD, and Harden. Did you have a point you were going to make?
No.
Right, no.
When you look at that list, I have a couple of questions about some people on the list, but I'm gonna keep that to myself. But
why would you do that?
Why? Because it's more. It's like they say in the movie. It's more better. But no, you look at this list, you can't really argue with most of these guys. It's exciting to see these guys with the old and the young, like you said, but it's going to be really interesting to see if they put Michael Jordan and Magic on this list, because they didn't make this list right here. I bet they're at home shaking in their boots right now. They don't make the top 75.
Was that one just between you and me?
I think they're going to make it.
Yeah, that's one that I would say.
I just say, I give you a little hint. I give you a little hint. He stole Kobe's MVP.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
what a hint, Rob.
I automatically thought that Magic and Michael would. I didn't even look. They weren't on that list.
There's still 2 more days. They're going to release it. So we got.
But
they
for them not to
scared
be
they
in the
ain't gonna
top
make it,
25.
No, I think it's just random.
This isn't 1 through 25.
Okay. 1 through 25.
Okay. All right.
So we got 25 tomorrow and 25 on Thursday.
Okay.
And James Worthy, you better be on that list.
Man,
I will be unhappy if you are not.
I got my college scholarship. That's all I ever wanted out of basketball, man. I'm good.
Can we actually jump to that?
I'm good.
And remind everyone?
I'm good.
Yeah. Can we remind everyone with your humility right now?
I think a lot of people will have a lot to say if not only myself, but if there's certain players that don't make it. It's a tough list.
It's going to be some players that we all think
list.
should be on it that's not going to make it.
It's a tough list. If I didn't make it, I'd be like, okay, I get it.
Numbers don't lie.
Because they're really good players that have come up. So I'm cool, man.
And James, you were on it 25 years ago on the top 50. I think absolutely you should be on this list. There's going to be tons of Lakers on this list.
College scholarship. My mom and dad didn't have to pay a dime for me to go to college. And here I am working the Spectrum. I'm good.
Life's good.
I'm good, man.
The thing
Life's good today.
Life is good today. The thing that I love, though, is just from the start of it all, really, obviously understanding that this is a season of celebration, and rightfully so. You can't go a day without talking about the NBA, without understanding where we are, how far we've come in big game. You say it the best when you speak about it.
I mean, when I think about guys like Bill Russell and, Elgin Baylor, who was in the military, and Bob Cousy and Tommy Heinsohn, who really had a lot to do with the players' union and fighting, for players' rights, free agency and things of that nature. Those guys were getting paid $10,000 a year and having part-time jobs in the summertime. Wow. So, and then Bill Russell and those guys fighting through civil rights and all that, and then television coming in to play with Commissioner Stern, and then it's just taken off. I'm so happy and excited that I've been a part of it, and I'm happy that the current players today are receiving everything that they should because of the guys that came before them, guys that came before me, who laid that path so we could walk on it a little easier. The NBA is a great conglomerate business globally, and I'm just happy that they're growing.
For me, when you look at this list, it's not always about the players. I think you add 2 people on this list should be David Stern, because he changed the game, and the one and only Jerry Buss for what he did to the NBA. Implementing cheerleaders and doing things of that nature. So many things that these guys should be on this list because they're just as important as the players. And I say, add them to this list. Take off the guy who stole Kobe's MVP and put one of them in that position.
Great point about Jerry Buss. In fact, I just mentioned him in a story I wrote for the Spectrum Sports and Spectrum News websites. Can you believe in 1979 he bought the Lakers, plus the LA Kings, plus the Forum, plus a giant ranch kind of in, I believe it was Kern County, for $67 million. And look what he turned it into. The Lakers just valued by Forbes at about $550 million. That's, I'm sorry, I got that wrong. About $2.5 billion. I
was about to say,
still nonetheless.
What magazine you looking at?
Yeah, that's from 1998, that valuation, about $2.5 billion. So that's really good money. So I think just the fact that he's built it up that much over the years is just, it's really amazing how he was kind of the forefather of that. Look at the Lakers these days. It's really amazing.
You know what else is amazing? The NBA Lane tribute video. Can you hit us with a, hey, big shot? Wasn't it?
It's a...
Hey, big shot. There you go. Yeah. The Lakers and Warriors about 30 minutes away from the start of the regular season. Kent Bazemore switched sides in the summer, traveling 400 miles south to join the Lakers. Game number 1 is coming up. And LeBron ready to take flight on season 19.
And defense, offense.
Let's start with Malik Monk because he is back.
I'll tell you what, good to see him back. He had a great 3-game run with the team. Then he got injured, but he had some good numbers in that brief time that we saw him. Would have loved to have seen him for all 6 games. We'll take the 3, though. He was hitting threes, almost 50%. You got to love that if you're this kid. Pretty good scoring clip, too, about 13 a game. I think more than any other rotation player, Allie, I should say potential rotation player, he really has to start strong. He's new to the franchise. He showed us some of what he could do last season in Charlotte and then signed a very good contract for the Lakers, only about $1.7 million. That is way below the average NBA salary. There you see it, Microwave Monk. Allie, I know you prefer a different name, the air fryer. Because
Nobody
the microwave,
cares what I want. That's
no,
okay.
I care. That's why I'm bringing it up. I want you to trademark it. We already have the microwave, Detroit, back in the 80s, maybe even the 90s a little bit. But look at him. He has some great numbers early. Good to see him back. We'll see how much playing time he gets tonight. Maybe a spot in the starting lineup, but I don't think quite so.
Robert, this one is for you. Avery Bradley, he is
Yeah.
back. Between the lines as well as financially. What does this mean for
Yeah,
him?
by the way, the 6th former Laker to join the team. I mean, it's crazy, right? 40% of the team has been here before. Good familiarity there. To me, this says one thing. The Lakers felt they needed a little bit of perimeter defense. Obviously, no Trevor Ariza till December. Maybe the same for, who are we missing? THT, thank you. THT also out till December. So, I think they're thinking we need to get a guy who can play a little defense. Good news for the Lakers. It's not a guaranteed deal, okay? Both him and Austin Reeves, both on non-guaranteed contracts. So the Lakers do have right now 15 guys on the roster. They could drop down to 14, could drop down to 13. Those 2 guys are not guaranteed till January 10th. So to me, maybe he can just hit some threes as well. Remember one of his last games with the Lakers?
The big one.
Hit 6
Yep.
against the Clippers, his former team back then.
Good intel. Let's dive into the West standings in regards to how you think it will play out.
Yeah, Vegas, it's funny. Vegas has the Lakers winning the West and the Golden State Warriors finishing second. I'm close to that. I have the Golden State Warriors finishing third. If we take a little look here, we'll start at the bottom. The Clippers, I think they'll still get in there, even without Kawhi Leonard. Trailblazers, I feel like they're 7 every year, Allie, these days. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with that franchise. Denver, no Jamal Murray till next year, maybe January, February. Dallas, possibly a team on the move, on the rise a little bit. Like the Phoenix Suns, they might end up passing Golden State early until Clay comes back maybe in December. The Utah Jazz, everyone's favorite regular season team that just haven't shown us much in the playoffs. And then the Lakers, number 1, Vegas thinks so. I think so. I know you think so. Rob and James, I have a feeling they think so as well. Just a little breakdown of my little predictions. Obviously, number 1 versus number 3 right now.
Rob, for some reason, is shaking his head. You can take it up with him after this.
He's
well
always
done,
shaking his
though,
head.
as always. Straight ahead on Access. Brody season is upon us. And when we return, we look forward to Russell Westbrook's